All right, welcome back to part 2 adventures. If you like these videos on sleeping bags, camping gear, and other adventures, please smash the like button and consider hitting subscribe as well, so you'll be getting the content as it comes out. I've had some questions on my sleeping bag series about how to wash a sleeping bag, and I mentioned on I think my first video with stubborn zipper, I think I mentioned that I just washed the sleeping bag. So I just came back from a 8-day camping trip, and I've been traveling for a few weeks, and did some other side trips and stuff. I went to Colorado, and so I want to wash my sleeping bag. Usually when I come back from a trip, I try to wash my sleeping bag, pretty soon after the trip. So I wash the bag that it comes in as well as the sleeping bag itself. So it's pretty easy. I've got my, you probably can't see in it, but my washing machine right here. So one of the first things I do is I'll pre-fill the washer, and I just use cold water. So I'll put a little bit of detergent in the washer, add some water, let it get sudsy before I put the sleeping bag in. So, but the other thing I do before I wash the sleeping bag is I unzip it. So it's all rolled up here, and here's the one zipper at the bottom. The main zipper is up at the top, so I want to bring that one all the way down and disconnect the zippers. So okay, so I'm all the way down at the bottom, and this is kind of the tricky part where you kind of have to force it to come apart. So that the two sides of the zipper now are apart. And the other thing I do is I turn the sleeping bag inside out. This is the foot end. It's not too bad this time. Last time I washed it, it was kind of gross, but this time it's not too bad. So what I'll do is I filled the water, or the washer, with some cold water. I put a little bit of detergent in. I don't put like a full cap or a full amount of detergent because I'm really only washing this one item. And then the other thing I do is I try to spread it out like a blanket. So I might do it from the other end first, because this end is kind of almost sewn together at the foot end. So the other end I can spread way out like this. So I try to just put it in like this and kind of spread out the weight evenly around the inside of the washer. If you have a front loader, just throw it in. You don't have to worry about that. But on this one, I just put it in, get it in there, throw the bag in as well. Actually, probably not a bad idea to tie anything that has a tie on it. It's always good to tie it up because it'll pull apart more than it already has. So I just kind of put the bag in like that. It'll get washed. It'll be fine. I could turn it inside out, but yeah. Anyway, so put it in, run the washer, and then I'll show you what I do afterwards. Okay, so the washer is done. The sleeping bag should be washed and ready for drying. So I'll show you what I do. When I take the sleeping bag out of the washer, first thing I do is I find the foot end, which is right here, and it smells really good. It smells like detergent. Take the sleeping bag here, and I'm going to open up this cabinet door right here, which is actually probably a little higher than the video shows. I'm gonna hook the sleeping bag up over top of the cabinet door there. It doesn't weigh very much. This sleeping bag's pretty light. It's got a light fill in it, so it's not real heavy, and it's not soaking wet either. It's fairly dry right now. I mean, it's wet, but and it's probably wet all the way through. But so I'm just going to let it hang here overnight. I'm just going to let it hang down into the washing machine. And tomorrow, once it's fairly dry and almost dry, then I'll put it in the dryer for a few minutes. Okay, so after several hours, the sleeping bag has been hanging here. I flipped it right side out. So originally I had it inside out. So about halfway through this time, I flipped it over so it would get some good airflow on both sides. It feels dry now. Smells good. Smells great. But so the final step is I'm going to put it in the dryer. I'm going to put it on low. I'm going to stand here and wait for the dryer to warm up to low, which is very low temperature. And then I'm going to turn it to the air fluff setting, so it just cycles and it just tumbles it. And with a little bit of residual warm air in the dryer, that will just make sure everything on this, I forget what this fill is called. It's like thin solate or something. It's a Coleman, some Coleman name, like hollow fill, HOLLOFIL. So it's what they call it, but it's not down. It's synthetic or something, but it's very warm, I will say. So the sleeping bag has been in the dryer now for a little while, and I think it was pretty much dry, but I just put it in there to make sure that it was really dry on the inside. So I'm going to take it out now. Okay, so yeah, I would definitely say the sleeping bag is dry. I'll even smell it again because it does smell good. So there's two pulls. There's a kind of an outer pull and an inner pull on the zipper. So if you grab both of them, and that'll basically put your finger right there as well, that will help guide the zipper so you don't zip this light material into the zipper, which catches the zipper. It's probably happened there, and makes it really hard to get it out. So now I'll roll up the sleeping bag. And I have to fold over the head end in half, down to about halfway down the sleeping bag until it starts narrowing. So about like that. And then I just roll this end really tight. Now the sleeping bag is narrower at the foot end, and so that makes the whole sleeping bag portion that I'm rolling now is thinner. It's not as thick as the head end. All rolls up in there, and I've got a little bit of open end here, and everything on this end is closed. So I'm going to put this end into the bag first, so that's all protected. And I roll the head end first, so that's all rolled within the sleeping bag. So that'll help keep anything from getting in there, dust, bugs, spiders, whatever. So now I just help force that into the bag a little bit here. Get the bag over the sleeping bag, and it will go in there. The other option is you could just shove your sleeping bag in there, but it's just messier that way. And this will store much easier because it's nice and round. And this will go into the spot where I store my sleeping bag when I'm not using it. And now it's all nice and packed in there. It's rolled up nicely. So when I go to use it next time, it's ready to go. So there's a clean, fresh sleeping bag. Smells good. It looks good. It's clean. It's rolled up neatly, packed in its bag, ready to be put away until the next time I want to use it. I'm not sure when that'll be, but hopefully it'll be pretty soon. I hope to do some camping this fall before snow flies and before it gets to be too cold. If you enjoyed this video or any of these series on the sleeping bags or camping gear, please give me a thumbs up. Please like the video, it helps out. And also, if you're interested in more content similar to this, please click subscribe to part 2. It's part 2 exclamation points. I've got a lot more content coming up. Almost every day this month I'll be posting a video. So please consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Thank you.